and rocks with Portland's classic rock, 92.3 KGON.
Oh, there's something old. There's a little something, something. Give some time for people to start collecting in. Let know if your camping gear.
Oh, my camping trip. I didn't get that last year.
Shit. Yeah, I want to go camping this summer at some point, for sure. Because I'm only having like 2 classes during the summer, so I can easily do it. Someone has arrived. This week, Tuesday and Wednesday.
I mean, in the
yeah, I mean, I don't know what my future days are going to be off, so it's just like, oh, okay. I will be able to reserve some time off if it's like 2 weeks in advance, but...
So every year I would like to, like, just by myself, take off, hit the woods.
Negus. What to do, what to do. Everyone's collecting in, that's good.
Get away from all the crap around here.
Tell me fuck about it, dude. Seriously. Like, I generally just want, like, a few... I just want to have, like... I mean, I just want to watch, or just have, like, a trip just for, like, 3 days so I can, like, recollect myself and shit. And, like...
seriously need that right now.
Oh, this thing's starting right out. Fucking gas.
This afternoon I might take a couple hours or so.
Well, I mean, it's just a short bike ride down there. And plus, there's all sorts of spots you can find that may or may not be claimed by homeless, depending on how intense it is with homeless there at the moment. I don't know. I haven't been over there yet. Nuck and futz. Is that intentional? Nuck and futz? Nuck and futz, everybody. Are you nuck and futz? Because I'm nuck and futz right now. Actually, I just totally forgot to put on the sepia, but I think I'll do that later. I'll do that when I actually get in there. I just watched the Carl R. Oh.
Yeah, go with Duck and Futz, dude, with the whole fam family.
The fam damly. The fam damly. Didn't you say you had, like, a friend who was dyslexic like that? Yeah, there's a lot of classic rock stations on here.
High school friend Todd Murray was we called it Murrayism. Stuff like
Drain damage. That's the famous one I know of, but a lot of people do that one. That's actually a common one that I see a lot, is drain damage. It seems like it's like more prevalent now, especially with like the internet, especially with like how people
his
can...
famous one is the bull is bloated.
The bull's ploded?
The bull is bloated.
The bull is boated?
Which you wouldn't understand that, because that was the early 80s term. When you're getting stoned, the bowl is booted, which means it's done. Nothing but ash.
Yeah. Yeah, when a bull gets boots. Boots Magooty. Booty. Dead.
Another of his famous ones was
Killed bull. I mean, there's a lot of terms.
Politically incorrect. He's like, oh, on your bees niche.
On your bees niche? Oh.
On your
That's...
bees, bitch.
Well, yeah, on your knees, bitch. I mean... I mean, that's not even really, like, incorrect unless you find someone from the Me Too or some shit. We were just actually, like, talking about that earlier. I saw a segment off of TJ Kirk's Abandoned Hope last night, which I saw live. I donated, like, $20 to Stream Vibes overall. I know I made...
You're giving money to these idiots.
They're content creators. I mean, they make their career off of YouTube like that. And I actually like their content and wish for them to keep going, and it's how they make their living.
Most of what I hear is hearing like cuss words and lines.
Well, I don't know what you listen to on the internet. I mean,
I don't listen to anything on the internet except for what you're playing when I'm
okay. And I have one more here. Didn't make an entrance. Getting into a lovely discussion. Yeah. A little tray of food.
That's the only thing I do online is play my game.
Yeah. So how's everyone right here doing today?
Online is so propaganda made up crap.
Okay, the internet is definitely not that.
A whole bunch of useful idiots by the deep state blind machine.
Oh my god, that is you can make that same argument for TV and it'll actually be true of TV.
TV's that way too.
Well, why do you think people go on the internet so they can avoid that? Like, I mean...
Well, from what I hear, it seems to be 10 times worse on the internet than they have on the TV.
Well, that's also true.
Mostly left wing, the right wing does it too, but it's mostly left wing, don't wear lines type of crap.
I mean, I don't... Like, which specific people on the internet?
I don't know.
Then who... Then...
Just what I hear you walk through the room playing on it.
Well, I don't listen to fringe, outwardly crazy shit, so I don't know how...
That's the scary part. It's mainstream crap.
I don't even watch mainstream either, so I mean, that doesn't apply to me. Like, I don't watch them...
Whatever, it's still...
I watch what I enjoy. Like, I don't go a hole to any ideology on the internet. I watch whatever I want that I find entertaining or insightful or whatever.
Don't think it is true.
Even
Disrespect everything.
even though the internet's like it's like the free world of information and shit. Okay, I guess it's the internet's based off lies. I guess. Okay, whatever.
Anyone can say anything they want.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole point of free speech, that people can say whatever they want. Do you ever watch Blood Sports or / Kumite? I've seen the Kumite a couple times, but I don't really go into the blood sports of the internet. That's some of the fringe that I that I've was mentioning earlier. It's because they kind of just go after each other, just like try to like bring down each other's like shit and everything, and go after whatever. It's literally just an alt-right circle jerk. Yeah, that's why I don't go there. The Kumite I've seen very rarely, but mainly if it's like with Paul or some shit. It's a podcast on YouTube that's like an alt-right circle jerk that one of my viewers is mentioning, which it is. It's definitely an alt-right circle jerk, full of like white nationalists, pseudo-fascists and shit, and then people who try to like make racist apologetics and shit, go after Jews a lot of the times. And usually just because they're Jews, not actually because there might be some actual criticism you can make, but... Martin Luther King, MLKJ.
People by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it should be about, like the...
All these people that are, quote, anti-fag...
Or alt-right, or...
They're all major racists.
Because they continue, because they're still implementing that their idea of like a race still has like is a little bit above another. They're just going the other way at that point.
But
like even though
each race has a little bit different qualities.
Because they evolved of their region. They evolved.
They evolved in a certain area.
Yeah, so they were gonna have obviously different traits and shit. So it's like. you know, if people start seeing people as people instead of like, they're tribe B and I am tribe A and tribe C is my friend because they hate tribe B too. It's like that. I mean, it's essentially like what the rundown of it is. It's just like they are a little different. We don't like them because we're better. Which is like a very, very tribalistic. Yeah, which is tribalistic, and I just like don't like tribalism is just obsolete at this point, considering how connected and how, you know, modern we are as, you know, society at this point. Like. Which will actually probably be one of my points I get into later in my later discussion when I get in my room. But it's like we're so connected at this point, and so much of, especially the Western world is connected, you know, and even the Eastern world, like, because China's doing like a major highway to go into Europe to increase trade with like the East Asian, especially China, of course, countries, and to Europe. So
They
that,
have to get through the Middle East first, which is going to be an issue.
yeah, and that.
Since the beginning of history.
Yeah, and that will be a definite big part of how I most definitely will. Don't worry. Oh wait, what was that last comment before? I didn't read that one. If somebody isn't alt-right enough, then the other ones will call them a Jew. Basically, I'm surprised whenever I've gone in there and I've said a little something, I'm surprised I haven't been ousted being like some Jew or something. I actually don't know if I am or not. I mean, it'll be a little weird to find out that one of our bloodlines, either my mom's or yours or somehow, are like, you know, somehow Jewish in some way. That would be a little, I'll be like, okay, cool, okay. It makes no difference to me, but whatever, you know.
Yeah, great when my uncle came to visit one time.
I'm gonna make sure this actually.
And he had his boyfriend, husband, come with him.
Oh, is this a gay Jew?
In my mind, yeah, he was Jewish.
A gay Jew. That's something you don't hear often.
They both were.
Well, obviously, I mean, they're married.
Come over, my mom's just like, okay, I won't make, you know, bacon or pork for you. And he's like, oh, hell no, bring on the bacon. I love bacon, I just can't eat bacon. But I'm out here in Billings, Montana. No one knows me. I want bacon. The more the better. Right. I just can't eat bacon in front of all my Jewish, you know, like the hardcore.
See, that's why I think, like,
just like, you're not supposed to eat bacon, but I love bacon.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because, I mean, it's obvious, it kind of proves the point, it kind of proves the point that people who are, like, super religious like that obviously don't follow the religion to the dot, into the, you know, I's and the T's and everything. Like, because there's a Jew who loves bacon, obviously, and there's plenty that do, still, I'm sure. And there's Muslims that do the same thing because they can't eat pork. Oh, there's actually this video I saw a while back, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. It was this video of American Muslims just talking about their beliefs and just kind of how they are, and, you know, as just a person, you know, just asking basic questions like, do you eat, like, you know, related to the religion of being Muslim, like, do you eat pork or bacon and stuff like that. And some of them have admitted, yes, I've eaten bacon before. Even though my parents didn't like the fact I admitted that, I still did. And some of them said that they want to, but haven't. And some said, no, they haven't, but thought about it. So, I mean, either way, they all want bacon. Like, who can deny bacon, man? There's only very few people that I actually know who don't like bacon, and that's like 2.
You're like one of the only persons I know that doesn't like cheese, so...
That's not even true either. There's this, like, I like some goat cheese, and I like Havarti cheese. But I like Havarti cheese on stuff. I don't like on itself. But, I mean, even that's not totally true, so, ha! There's exceptions to the rule.
Have to get pizza with no cheese.
Oh, that's not even true anymore either. Oh my god. When I was a kid, when I was super picky, but I'm not picky anymore, really. I've opened up a lot when it came to food.
What?
When it comes to food, I've opened up a lot. Yeah, like, I used to not like a lot of things, but now I will eat just about anything. Goat cheese has a weird soapy taste. See, the goat cheese I tried was at the Scandinavian food cart that had this really interesting. It was like this chicken wrap dish, and it had goat cheese with it. I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And the goat cheese complemented it so perfectly that it got me to love it. So every now and then I'll add goat cheese to stuff. It did. It was like lettuce with chicken with this special sauce they had called like Milner hot sauce or something like that, which was so good with it. And it had like one more other special sauce they had with it, and then it had like onions, and then that goat cheese, and then lettuce, I think. I don't know if I already said lettuce, but it was so good though. It was really delicious. And the chicken had like seasonings, like European seasonings and shit. It was so good. I don't know if there's like any Nordic specific seasonings, but okay, this thing's really right now. But it was good. You need to try hardcore when you go to Iceland. It's rotten Greenlandic shark. Rotten? Okay, you know what? Maybe. The rotten is turning me off, but I don't know, dude. If there's a dish of harco that actually looks good at a restaurant I go to, I'm gonna maybe try it. But oh god, there better be a lot of seasoning with that. Having a bad day. I was trying to fix some wires, and I first got this warm feeling, didn't find a strong tingle, and I noticed wires in my hand were exposed and connected to an electric. Oh god. North Pole, people would let this stuff rot. Oh. Like, it's like halfway fermented, decomposed. There's some toxin in it, and the only way to get rid of it is to ferment it / rot it. Ah, okay. Huh. So, I've never tried. I haven't even tried shark before, so that would be interesting. I might just try that just because it's something new. Terrible? Huh. Okay, well, great. I'm getting some positive vibes with this right now. It's fermented rotten using lye and other shit. Yeah, it wouldn't taste better. Oh god. Oh man, I'm trying to figure out what that taste is, and I'm just not. I don't. What the fuck? Like sometimes I could think of a taste and I could kind of like pseudo taste it. You know what I mean? If I like think about it, you know, but I just don't know. Like I only like certain fish and like certain seafood, but I mean, I've never tried shark before. It's very strong smell, and it's Greenlandic shark, which is a small Arctic shark. Yeah, I know about the Greenlandic shark, so it won't surprise me that Greenland and Icelandic people hunt that shit, because, I mean, that's what they do to survive. They hunt fish out there. What else are they gonna do? They're in islands that don't really have a lot of food. So, I mean, you gotta fish. I mean, that's the way of the Nordic life for most of, like, the Norwegians, Faroese, Icelandic, Greenlandic. I used to live in Greenland. Miserable place. Well, don't fall for the name then. It's not green there. Iceland is green, but Greenland is not green at all. It's funny how the names are flipped, but it's a pretty cool story of actually how that goes. How that's why. Yeah, some people hear about it. They want to go. Yeah, because I think it was Harold the Red or somebody. Harold the Red, I think, exiled somebody. And that guy settled in Greenland, named it Greenland, and tried to make a colony to compete with Iceland's colony at the time. And it didn't end up working out really good, and obviously, because it's a miserable, shitty place. But it did last for a while before it failed. But it was actually fairly useful for a time, especially for Leif Erikson to go to Vinland, because I think he had to make a stop there. I think on the map of where he went, that there's a stop in Greenland, which I think is that colony. But I don't remember. Yeah, now Newfoundland is Vinland. It's not the Columbus bullshit story that we were taught as children.
people have been, the Chinese came over here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was like it's.
Before Columbus.
Oh yeah, I bet I mean, it was.
Japanese or Chinese, but they came over here and they found this land and just like, hey, it's
Wasn't
too
there
far.
like
There's people here, so we'll just leave it alone. It's not worth the trip.
Nah, dude, it was the Africans who discovered America. Is that sarcasm or not? I can't tell. It's a comment. I can't tell. But if it's true, I'm actually down to hear this because I've never heard it. We was Kongs. We was the Kongs with our vibranium. We will conquer the world with vibranium, even though we're isolated from all of Western society.
2 days of freedom.
Sarcasm. Well, I was just making sure, just because I have heard of like theories of like at least like oceanic tribes that live in like just islands and shit that have also traveled to like Hawaii and America too.
Polynesians.
Yeah, Polynesians. Yeah, and it, like so, it wouldn't surprise me if even coastal Africans thought of the same and did that too. So I don't know. I doubt it, but I mean, it would have been cool if it was a natural like theory on how if that was true. So too bad it ain't. That would have been cool though. That would have been cool. Nah. Something. Who knows? Yeah, who knows at this point? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's like some lost tribe, dude, or at least made attempts, you know.
Africans probably came to South America too.
Oh, probably South America, probably. I mean, there's islands in the southern hemisphere, like the Falklands and shit. They could probably made stops and found those places. Even like,
What's to go to the Falklands except for the English?
yeah, or the Argentinians.
Yeah, they're fighting over that.
Yeah, I mean, they've always have.
Pile of rock in the middle of nowhere.
It really is. What is at the Falklands? What makes it so important? I'm sure there's actual reasons.
It's a little tiny spot in the middle of nowhere and it gives you a good military base.
Or a good trade outpost too, like a pit stop for trade. I mean, that could work too. I mean, because I don't know what oil and military base. Yeah. That makes sense. Oil makes sense. UK.
Like the little teeny gas
UK going to the Falklands for oil and a military base. Huh. I wonder why the UK decided to go there.
Big glass of water and you're on your way.
Get a nice fat cup of mug. Get a little refill.
Get a big gulp of
See
burger,
a bunch of
fill the tank,
Argentinian or
keep
British
going.
military jets just chilling.
And the people there charge you out the butt because it's the only place around for 100 miles.
Yeah, they could just take advantage of that. Yeah. Unless it was ran by the state, then they might not be able to. Oh, that's Harley's. I was gonna put that in my room actually. Take that with me. Take it with me. Take this one hit, then we go back in because we done 20 minutes of banter. We don't really need to go that long, but we did anyway. But that is okay. British vets from the Falkland War have an extremely high suicide rate. Holy fuck, dude. I mean, I can imagine that being very brutal, dude. I mean, from what I've heard, the Argentinians would not give that up, like, without any fight, dude. I mean, shit. I mean, it's kind of sad that that's the case, too, though. I mean, you know, I think just overall we could just be treating vets better, you know? Like, just, like, everybody. I mean, Europe does a way better treatment of their vets in general, but, I mean, here in the U.S., UK even, because, I mean, if that's the case, then there should have been, like, help for them, you know? I mean, if they're vets, I mean, they should be more obligated to certain things than other people. The Argentinians got their asses handed to them and suffered losses. Bacon is king! Alright, well, hey, I guess the banter guy is someone else to come by, too. Don't worry, we're about to get into it. I'm just going to destroy this last bowl, and then we're going to go in there. Ooh. Last one got me a little bit buzz there. Ooh. Where's the friend Dakota at? I've subbed to his channel, but no content. He doesn't produce anything, even though he says he wants to, so I don't know why he's not. But he should. I keep telling him to. So I think he's just been too busy with everything else. Probably had 8 Coronas last night. Nice. I remember you told me about your friend who came by the other day. Alright, let's get into it. I have everything already pulled up. I did my research last night. Did it last night, bitch. Hold up, let me just set everything up right. Here we go. Get that thing on there. Change the color, because that's what we do on here for Ignarisms. Sepia, just like all usual. Get nice and dark and serious and intimate. Get all intimate and all nice with you. Yeah. Okay, fix that. There we go. Okay, that was easy. That was easy. Sweet. Easy peasy. Pumpkin easy. Alright, let's get right into the discussion. Okay, so yes, we are talking about climate change. I didn't really mention it too much because my pops is... we were having a little bit of a discussion on it right before. According to the scientific community, the situation of climate change is fucked. That's why I'm talking about it. Because, you know, there's even this new thing that Secular Talk posted just the other day. And it's just like, oh shit. Oh, yep. I even made a comment on, and just like, I even made a comment on it, just putting out my anger, which I'll mention later as well. My sister, for some reason, thinks you're cute. I get that a lot, and honestly, you know, I don't brag about my looks, because I just think I'm just like whatever, I'm just like any other dude. So, I get that a lot, though. I mean, so, I guess I got something going for me, I guess. I don't know. I guess I do. I mean, I do notice I have, like, a good jawline, but, I mean, most Nords do, from what I've noticed. So, I don't know. I get it a lot, though, so. Tell your sister thanks, though. Much appreciated. But, anyway, yes. So, I think how I'm going to do this is kind of start is to explain what climate change is and the difference between some certain things. At least you don't look like the manatee. Thank fuck I don't look like the manatee, dude. I'm glad that Irish and Nordic genes mixed well. And native, too. I mean, all three of those are a pretty nice combination, so... I'm glad that is my mix. I will be happy about that. What stories he pulled up? Oh fuck. Well, I pulled up a couple articles. I got one headlined. Let me go back up. The uninhabitable Earth, famine, economic collapse, the sun that will cook us. What climate change could wreck sooner than you think. So that is one thing I pulled up. Another one I pulled up, which is a video on it as well. Scientists rebuff EPA's chief claim that global warming may be good. So I'm also going into the counterpoints here, and I also pulled up some Fox videos because where else to go for the counterpoint than Fox, you know what I mean? Might as well shit on Fox at the same time. Which, you know, I think that also plays a part into this whole climate change debate, unfortunately. It's unfortunate that in America, we have to call it a debate. But I also have a National Geographic video as well. Climate Change 101, and it's with Bill Nye. So we get Bill Nye, who's not technically a scientist, but he's the science guy. But that's cool. And, yeah, I have at least 2 of those, and then I have a third one, which is not specifically on Fox, but there's a video, it's a Secular Talk video, but there's a video of Fox on here, which, you know, it will kind of help transition into one point. But at first, let's kind of get into a little bit what it is. So I'll kind of go into what I at least know about it right now really quick. So let's just go through the first major difference between weather and climate change, because that gets mixed up a lot from a lot of, especially the denialists or the skeptics, is that, oh, it's always changing, like, oh, the climate here is different today than it was yesterday. And it's like, that's a half-truth, because yes, it's different today than yesterday because that's weather. So that's the main difference, is that weather is just like a weekly to, you know, like a monthly basis of changes in the whole climate in your region. While climate is like a whole far bigger region, and it changes slowly over time. So like 10 years, 20, 30 years, you know, go how long you want. And that's the major difference. So when it comes to these discussions, that should at least be put right off the bat and understand that when we do talk about climate change, it is the whole long-term effect of it. It's not the short term or the day after or yesterday or a week ago. It's the whole long-term effect of it. It's the data that has been collected from all these long-term effects. So that is the major difference of it. And also, when we do talk about climate change, and actually my dad made this point because he's a skeptic, I guess you can say, is that the climate is always changing, and that no one denies that. Because Paul's right, humanity will never leave the planet in a way as to move to another world. Yeah. I'm like borderline pessimistic, optimistic about my worldview. I'm still tossing that around in my head. So, I mean, you might hear the more optimistic side for a brief moment, and then you're going to hear a lot of you're going to hear that toss-up throughout the stream, I think, because this is where a lot of that toss-up comes from. It's like, I do have optimism that we could potentially, make change if we actually, put the effort to do so, But at the same time, considering how fucked we are, that might not ever happen, and it might already be too late, which in a lot of ways, it is already too late. So, I mean, you're going to hear that toss-up a lot right now, especially. So, yeah, and, but when it comes to climate change, when people are saying it changes all the time, no one can deny that. But when scientists say climate change is a negative effect, it's the human impact of climate change. That's the context of what is being discussed. So that needs to always be, the main underlying premise to understand what it is. So think about how dumb the average person is, and then remember that half of them are even dumber. George Carlin. Damn straight, dude. That's one of my favorite George Carlin quotes. And that's why that's kind of why I guess I'm a little anxious and don't talk to people that much in public, because if I try to talk about something interesting or something, they might just come across not giving a shit or just really being dumb on the thing. Like if I talk about, Trump's doing this stupid shit, kind of go into basic facts about it, they might be, ignorantly a Trump supporter or just not, attacking him on the same issue as I am. It's like, oh yeah, because he's such a racist homophobe. It's like, no, like, here's some actual reasons, and here's some more actual reasons. Like, this guy is just a corrupt, establishment fucktard who, is an impulsive, childish loudmouth. Like, that's just what he is. He's just still an establishment insider. But yeah, I mean, that really does hold true, and unfortunately, we just have to try to live with that, and sometimes I just feel like I dumb myself down trying to, like, explain shit to people, or trying to, like, talk about stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm not interested. But yeah, social life is very, very strenuous sometimes in my life, even though I don't have much of a social life. And it's whatever. But I still make a lot of talks and acquaintances at school. I mean, I'm actually building, like, a friendship out with the band, but digressing. Anyway, let's get into the video. I'll pull, unless there's something interesting, I'll pull it up on the big screen, but this is the Climate Change 101 with Bill Nye.
We hear it so much that it feels like a buzzword, but it is far from it. Climate change is a real and serious issue. But isn't the climate always changing? What exactly is climate changing? Why should we care? Well, the Earth's climate has changed throughout history. Most of these slight changes are caused by small variations in the Earth's orbit. The climate change as we know it today is characterized by an abrupt increase in the Earth's temperature.
Oh yeah, that's something I also forgot to mention. A part of the reason why we do have climate change is the fact that we have seasons, and that the Earth orbits around the sun 365 to 364, give or take, days a year. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just another thing that is the reason why we do have climate change. Is also due to the Earth's orbit around the sun, which, if you look at the super long term, data of climate change, you can see stark differoences, throughout the entire lives of Earth and what the climate was like. Because I think with paleoclimatology, which is looking into the past climate, which we are able to study as, looking through different various ways of looking at it through ice cores, through going on, looking down through the ocean floors, you know, the scintillation, the silt and shit. You know what I'm trying to talk about. Same thing as like an ice core. You dig down through and, you know, collect the sample. And then we do that for like caves and like going down digging through dirts of just you know, in the ground and just general. I mean, that's how we're able to understand paleoclimatology and understand the Earth's past climate, which is how we are able to learn about, you know, the Earth's past climate. So there is a lot of facts that go into that. But let's continue going on here, because he's just also talking about the global averages, which is also part of that as well. Because, I mean, that's also human study as well. When we started studying it, 1880 or something like that, I think. I don't know exactly when we started doing it.
Stated to have gotten 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit warmer in just the last century. 10 out of the last 13 years were the warmest on record. 97% of climate scientists agree that this new tendency is not caused by the variations of the Earth's orbit, but rather very likely caused by human activities. That means you, me. And since the Industrial Revolution, we have come a long way. Humans built airplanes, faster cars, developed remarkable technology, and learned how the natural resources around us can be used for our benefit. Although this has led to many wonderful inventions and advancements, like the device you're using to watch this video, or the ability to take a plane halfway around the world, it also means we've increased our consumption of natural resources and, in turn, released a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Now, greenhouse gases occur naturally, but in excess can be dangerous to our planet. Modern human activities have increased the release.
Bill Nye brought out Shill Nye. Big Science brought out Shill Nye. Indeed. Big Science. All the scientists are paid by the liberals. If you have Command and Conquer Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, and won a harder campaign, try Mental Omega Mod for a much more difficult campaign. Whoa. I do know about Red Alert 2. I don't have it, but I used to. But I need to get it again. And try to get all the mods for it and shit, because that's a fun game, dude. It's fun. But, yeah, so here, I'll actually pull this up really quick, because this is showing some data that I've also seen before in my climate change class that I had 2 terms ago at this point, because my spring term ended now. But this is showing data of essentially, so you can see here, which is some of this stuff right here. In fact, actually, I'll just pull up normal colors so it's easier to kind of see and understand. Hold up, here we go. Okay, so you can kind of see with some of this, I know it's a little hard, but this is like from black to red to orange, yellow, and white, and you can kind of see all that going right here. And then here, which is biomass burning of CO2, and parts per million volume, and then megacity CO2, which is all of this blue shit that you see around here. And all the purples is essentially kind of like clouds, I believe, as well, or a mixture of both of them. And this is and that's also in parts per million. So now that we kind of understand that, we'll just kind of watch it kind of go on. Oh, well, I guess it's not. Never mind.
The composition of greenhouse gases traps heat radiated from the sun. The more heat they trap, the warmer our planet gets. And as our planet gets warmer, we begin to feel the effects.
Whatever.
One of climate change's biggest victims are oceans. Oceans regulate the Earth's temperature and provide 50% of the Earth's oxygen. Now, climate change has increased the global temperature.
Okay, so here's actually a very important thing that I also realized. In fact, let me get something that would be very important for this. It's actually over there in my crazy shit of books from this red thing I'm trying to clean up. Because I did take the climate change class and I did have notes, so let me try to find it. Where is it? Where did I put it? Where the fuck did I put this bitch? I don't know. God damn it. Whatever. This is bullshit. Where'd it go? I knew I had it over here somewhere. Whatever. It would be really cool if I had it, though, because it would help me explain a lot more of what I'm talking about. Go in some details. But, because I took a lot of notes on this part. And, because with the oceans, it actually is a very, very important part. Because, like it said, 50% of the world's of oxygen is in the ocean, essentially. Let me just make sure.
Temperature and provide 50% of the Earth's oxygen.
Yeah, 50% of the Earth's oxygen. So, with what's going on with the increasing heat of the overall world temperatures, that's obviously going to cause more evaporation of the oceans, which is causing more condensation of clouds, which causes more weather to happen, and also gets more extreme weather to happen. So you can see where that connection is with like all these extreme weathers that we've been having from heavy typhoons in the Pacific to hurricanes like Maria and Hurricane Sandy that we've been having recently. All that plays into the fact that our Earth is getting more warmer, and the fact that our oceans are starting to evaporate more, which plays a major key factor, which is what I've also been learning. And that's seriously not good. I mean, because also while it's evaporating at the same time, but that's also causing sea level rises due to the heat. You're also getting a lot of the which we're actually going to get into here. I think that'll be a perfect segment to start kind of transitioning to here with this. Oh, that's not it. That's actually a Brett King video. Never mind. Oops, wrong one. But here it is. Okay, so fuck. But with the ice, yeah. Okay, so when Antarctica and the northern ice caps start decreasing in ice and melting away, that's also causing more sea level rises, which is rising faster than it evaporates. And and that's going to start causing runaway greenhouse effect, which is more of this radical change and more sporadic and more quicker change of of the weather, just the basic weather going on in the short term, which all these hurricanes, all these tornadoes that have just been wreaking havoc. I mean, all this shit. I mean, natural disasters seem to get worse and worse every year. So, I mean, that all plays into the factor that, our Earth overall is getting warmer. And here's some just worst case scenario situation here with Antarctica that I kind of briefly went into, but or watched, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
A scary situation. This is from the Associated Press. The melting of Antarctica is accelerating at an alarming rate, with about 3 trillion tons of ice disappearing since 1992. An international team of ice experts said
3 trillion tons of ice disappeared since 1992. Like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. How, like, that is unheard of. Unheard of, dude. Every time Brett farts, the Arctic loses 100 feet of ice. Jesus Christ. Also, oceanic currents are going to change in time. I mean, yeah, that too. I mean, actually, I think I bookmarked it at one point. Let me try to find it. There's this really cool website that actually goes into... okay, here's bookmarks. Let me try to find it. Hold on. Here it is. Woo! Found it. Okay, here we go. That was easy. Sweet. Okay, because this is cool. Because this is actually going to kind of show what's our current weather and stuff like that's going on. So... and wind patterns and everything. So let me pull this up on the big screen really quick. Okay. Oh shit. Alright. Whoa. Whoa. I gotta refresh this. Hold up. Here we go. Okay, cool. Maybe the reason why Earth's climate is fucked up is because Brett takes shits here. Oh my... We're just gonna have a Brett Keane roasting session. So here, alright, so this is a website you can go to. If you want to check it out yourself, go to earth.nullschool.net. I mean, there's this fat... You know what? Hold on. I'll just copy paste the link so you guys can check it out. Hold up. Let me do that. Let me do that for you so you can check it out yourself because it's cool as fuck. Cool as fuck. It is cool as fuck. Go to my channel. Put this bad boy mutes. Just pause it because that doesn't matter. Chat needs to pop up. There we go. I just got told I'm a shitty person because I like to eat bacon. Well, that person is a shitty person thinking that you're a bad person for eating bacon. Okay, so here it is. There's going to be parentheses in between everything so it doesn't not send it because I know YouTube's dumb like that, but there you go. There you go. But anyway, let's go back to this now. And let me reverse it, take the sepia off, or sepia, whatever the fuck you say it, so you can check this out. So these are actually the current wind patterns of the whole Earth right now. Here's the US. And if I could, all right, here's the Earth thing. So this whole thing will tell you practically everything. So this is the wind, and this is in the surface. And also, I can change the height, so we can go higher up, and you can see the different like levels of the atmosphere change of the wind. So let's go like to the highest possible. So here's like the very, very surface of the Earth, like the very top of the atmosphere. And this is like what's going on and stuff. So these are like all the wind patterns and everything. And also I can do temperature as well. So here's temperature. So this is a OMG message such. She just said she would let you tongue punch her fart box. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, well, I appreciate that interest then. All right, well, okay then. Oh wow, look at this. This is the Himalayas. You can see. I mean, you can see the vast different weather, different temperatures there. Is this gonna focus for me a little bit so it looks better? Will it focus? Get back to climate. This is climate, sir. You're looking at the world temperature at the moment. So you can kind of see where it's like really, obviously this is all like really hot, but you can kind of tell where, you know, it's getting warmer and shit. I mean, look, I mean, it used to be really cold up here, but now look at like the East Coast now. It's all really red. It's like up here in the oranges right now. I mean, a lot of the US is, dude. I mean, and look at the vast difference. Like once you get way up here, look at that. I mean, it's way blue and then it suddenly turns like more brightish yellowish green like instantly. Well, I was leaning there. But I mean, you can tell where, you know, currently you can see where it gets warmer, you know? I mean, also for a while there was like this big red spot. In fact, I probably should pull an article on that really quick too to kind of prove that point as well, because it is because that was scary. But yeah, let me go back to this Antarctica thing, because, I mean, this is really cool because it goes into, I mean, you can also see particulates as well. It's like different particles in the atmosphere. You could also check out different types, which includes, like, pollution as well. And oh, you know what? Just here's for the pollution really quick here. This is pollution, but look at China, dude. Look at the whole world compared to, like, I mean, these are all just particulates in general. I mean, we can do different variants of it. Here's, like, different type. Here's a different one. Yeah, I mean, here's another one. Which I think this is just mostly just dust and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, and this is just sulfate extinction. So, I don't know, which I'm pretty sure is just, you know, more pollution. And you can see how, you know, it's very rampant. I mean, look at the distinction around Europe here. Look at here. Here, look at like how East Europe is very polluted compared to Western Europe, which I think you can kind of see that through the Cold War era compared with the Eastern Bloc and the, you know, United Nations and the UN and NATO. I mean, you can see that India is not good. Bangladesh, look at that. I mean, you can tell the vast pollutants of Bangladesh. China, I mean, let's go to the U.S. really quick. Whoa, what the fuck is this? I think, oh, this is due to the volcano. Okay, right here is due to the volcano that's been going on. So that's the reason why that's all going on. So there's a reason for that. But here's more pollutants. The East Coast is pretty bad. I mean, some of the eastern Midwest is not looking good. You know, the Rust Belt. I mean, you can see where a lot of this pollution, you know, is with this website. It's really cool. I mean, I really do encourage you to check it out because it kind of gives you a little bit more of an understanding. I think there's also like some stuff you can learn about it to get more of an understanding of it. But I got that in my college class when I took the climate change class, so I already know about it. But it's really cool. It's really, really awesome. It's a really cool tool to have.
In a new study. In the last quarter century, the southernmost continent's ice sheet, a key indicator of climate change, melted into enough water to cover Texas to a depth of nearly 13 feet.
What? No, oh my God. So let me just repeat that. In the last century, the southernmost continent's ice sheet, a key indicator of climate change, melted enough water to cover Texas in a depth of nearly 13 feet or 4 meters, scientists calculated. That's just scary, dude. We should have just one big orgy for climate awareness or climate change awareness. I totally actually would be down for that, dude. Let's just fucking start that. Let's just have that as our first meetup. We just have like a fat fucking like orgy for climate change, dude. Climate change awareness. I fuck for climate change. That would be one interesting movement. Is that what would happen if it melts, or is it hypothetical? No, it did. It did. It said in the last quarter century, so the last 25 years, the southernmost continent's ice sheet, a key indicator of climate change, melted into enough water to cover Texas over a depth of nearly 13 feet. So over 25 years, the southernmost continental's ice sheet melted enough water to cover Texas in 13 feet of it. So it already has happened. So, I mean, these sea level rises has already been going on, and it's probably just going to keep getting worse unless we literally did something fucking today. Okay, I'll just let him continue talking.
Scientists calculated all that water made global oceans rise about 0.3 of an inch, 7.6 millimeters. From 1992 to 2011, Antarctica lost nearly 84 billion tons of ice a year. 76 billion metric tons. So
that's from 1992 to 2011. So before I actually continue, I want to see what you guys guess on this. Actually, let's make this a little game. So from 2012 to 2017, how much did you think it increased to? Like, so it lost 84 billion tons. How much do you think it lost on top of that from 2012 to 2017? I want because the number's right here, but I want to see what you guys have guess on that. Too much. Well, 50 billion. Okay, well, I'll give you. Okay, here's a hint. It's It's larger than the 84 billion. So 50 billion is definitely out of the picture on that. But I'll give you one more chance on that one. I mean, it's bad. I'll say that much. And yeah, I would definitely have to say too much. 2.4 billion. Well, take the decimal out, and you would actually be the closest one so far. So it is 241 billion tons a year, or 219 metric tons. 1 trillion. Well, not that much, but you're like 3/4 off. But yeah.
2012 to 2017, the melt rate increased to more than 241 billion tons a year. 219 million metric tons, according to the study Wednesday in the journal Nature. Quote, I think we should be worried. That doesn't mean we should be desperate, said University of California, Irvine's Isabella Cogna, one of 88 co-authors.
Okay, yeah.
Things are happening. They are happening faster than we expected.
And I wonder why that is. So, I mean, this is going to get into a lot of, the why is that. So, I think that'll be a really good transition. But first, before we get into that, let's just kind of hear some of the, hear what they're getting into here.
Part of West Antarctica, where most of the melting occurred, is in a state of collapse, said co-author Ian Joen of the University of Washington. And then they go on to say, unlike single measurements...
But Ignar, Dave Rubin said it's still up for debate. Well, guess what? It's not. So Dave Rubin's wrong. So he can just suck this fucking red rocket like a little bitch he is, soaking up the Koch brother money. Oh my. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm saying it. I mean, the dude's such a fucking careerist hack, dude.
Studies.
Fuck Dave Rubin.
Team looks at
fuck him.
Ice loss in 24 different ways, using 10 to 15 satellites, as well as ground and air measurements and computer simulations.
At this point, I do say bring on the nukes, unless things like North Korea keep happening. But other than that, bring on the fucking nukes, dude. I mean, yeah, maybe the nuclear winter will counteract it. Like, I live in Oregon, it'll probably chill out and be cool. I mean, I'll just hide off in the mountains. I'll be good. I mean, I know the mountains not well, but I mean, I know how to like chill out there and be good.
So what they're saying is, this is authoritative work. This is like the final say kind of work, because they measured it in so many ways that they're sure of what they're talking about here and their measurements.
Which is why climate change is not fucking debatable. So, yeah, and this is where I'm probably going to get angry and then also get my pessimism out, because this will be the transition here I'll take into. Oh, that's not it. Actually, you know what? I'll go over this. So I'll just kind of skip the Kyle Gucci-ness, but we'll just take a look at this video, because this is Cucker Tolson, because he's a cuck, getting schooled by Jock Fox on climate change, because he actually literally pulls up a map.
And toward the end of this clip, you're going to see an awesome moment unfold.
So in case you're keeping track at home, low temperatures are proof of global warming. So are high temperatures, heat waves.
We don't need change for this. You'll just have to endure it.
Droughts are too. So hot or cold, wet or dry, all of it is proof that human activity is making the climate hotter. The question is there any weather phenomenon that doesn't prove global warming? Josh Fox follows us carefully. He's a documentary director and environmental activist, and he joins us. Josh, thanks for coming up.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we actually did came to that point, maybe we'd actually see each other as humans and use that as fucking, like, intergalactic weapons if that were ever a case, but that ain't happening. So, yeah, luckily, we're not able to do such a thing, but I think we actually have a capability of creating a black hole, like, artificially, I think, but I really don't know. I think there's, that it's in Switzerland, it's like the, particle accelerator, I think it is, or some shit. I think in theory you could create one in there. I think from what I've heard, but I have no idea. I don't quote me on that. CERN, yeah, CERN, yeah. That's another thing it's called too. But I think there's like a particle accelerator fucking thingy in there or some shit. I have no idea. They can't. Okay, well. I'm talking out of my ass, and I'm talking like an idiot.
Be on again with you.
Delaying the awesome.
Everything that you just said was true. That was amazing. You had like a whole run there.
Okay, now there's confliction in the chat here. Okay. Wait, you can't. Damn it! Now, okay, now there's a lot of confliction. Okay, someone look that up now while this goes on, because damn, now I'm conflicted. No, not powerful or stable enough. Okay. But in theory, if there was one powerful, stable enough, it could then. So I guess so. Still, in theory, it potentially could, but not the actual accelerator that is there. So, in theory, we could make one, but we just haven't. So it's kind of a half truth then. Okay, well, it settles it then. I think in that point.
I'm not here to debate you. I don't really know my positions. I'm open-minded because I believe in science, and I think that evidence ought to lead to conclusion, not the other way around.
That's miraculous.
But why wouldn't I be a little bit confused if people say that hot temperatures are a sign of global warming? Now they're saying cold temperatures are, wet conditions are, but also dry conditions. How can that all be true?
Again, you're not really stating it correctly. I think what people are saying about the bomb cyclone is it is a similar weather event to a hurricane, which is true. What climate change does as a result of warming is it increases the extreme weather events, right? Extreme cold, extreme hot. But in this case, we're talking about extreme storms, right? Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Irma.
I just love the fucking, like, headline that they're using to kind of spew this into their own narrative. Activists say cold weather is a sign of man-made climate change. Really? That's such a stupid, like, headline to have. Seriously.
Harvey. These were unprecedented and incredibly disastrous events in terms of the climate, and this bomb cyclone is very similar. Now, in the scientific terms...
Wait, just to stop. And I just want to make sure I have this right. And I want to make it clear, you're not a scientist, so be sure not to patronize me. Just give me a straight answer. I was told for the last 15 years that global warming, its main result was higher temperatures. So can you see why I'm confused?
We are seeing higher temperatures.
So, but if this turns out to be an unusual...
Wow, look at this one, too. Al Gore blames cold temps on climate change. See, now they're even spewing, Al Gore's involvement with the whole climate change thing. It's just nonsense.
Year, and it looks like it may.
You can see where takes on climate change filmmaker. I mean, even that, dude. Like, this even says, it's like, oh, well, he's a filmmaker about, so, maybe he could just be like, photoshopping, CGI, and how it all bad is and stuff.
It's
also
cold in
be-
New York. It's cold in New York. You're in New York. I'm in Louisiana. And in fact, yesterday I was in St. Thomas where it was 80 degrees. And that's the point. The hurricanes and the cyclones start with a warming Atlantic. When the Atlantic Ocean is warmer, it evaporates more water into the air. When you have more water in the air, more water comes down. So you saw this huge deluge with Harvey. You saw all of this wind and rain with Irma and Maria, and now you're seeing huge amounts of snow because of the warming temperature.
Look at this. Here we go. Here we go.
These
We're
storms
seeing a
come
lot
up
of
from
snow.
Florida, right? We know that, right?
But it was
Tucker?
just, I'm not sure what we know.
I'm
Because
explaining
it was,
to you the
hold on, let me
science.
just
Now,
ask
you asked me about science, right? So I'm explaining to you the
I don't
science.
know how much you know about science, and I know that I don't know much
So I
about
have a
science.
map
Ah, here we go, dude.
temperatures, right? Now you
This is
see
that at the
blue
time that was the
right
most
there, that's
updated.
North America. That means it's
That was the most updated map. And here's that cold blob. But look at the rest of the world. It's all red. Even Antarctica.
average. But if you look at the rest of the planet, it's warmer than average. That means when you talk about global warming, you look at the entire globe.
Okay,
not
I
just New
get
York
it.
City.
I
But it's
get
like,
it,
oh, you can say,
but
oh, I live in New York City, so it's
wait,
cold in New
wait
York
a
City. That's
second.
not an argument.
He indeed has a punchable face.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I mean, that's all we really need because, you know, we're about to discuss everything that he obviously will get into. So, let's get in. Let's just pick one of these videos here. Alright, so here's Fox's reason why they probably think climate change has run its course. Which is bullshit because it hasn't. And in fact, it's probably going to get better than ever.
It started as an effort to protect the environment. It is not that anymore.
The Scat Pup? No. I don't think he's either of those, and I definitely know he's not the first.
UC Berkeley visiting scholar Stephen Hayward just wrote a piece in the Wall Street Journal detailing how the movement has been hijacked by obsessions with race and gender, worries about carbon and rising sea levels turned into speeches about fighting misogyny and climate justice.
Stop. Wow, he looks like such a blurb. But, wow, so you're gonna... So... Who's the SJW? Who is the PC culture? You're the one bringing up the whole fucking misogyny right now and the racism that climate change supposedly has, which it doesn't. You fucking moron.
Whatever that is.
I have not heard that ever. Climate change is SJW. Damn straight, dude. We're all like SJWs if we're climate change. Who is this fucking thumb he's talking to, dude? Who is this miserable bald thumb of a man?
Stephen Hayward joins us tonight to explain.
It looks like a goddamn peanut.
Oh, thank you, Tucker. Isn't it
Oh, thank you, Tucker.
how everything seems to get reduced to race and justice these days?
Well, yeah, but it's especially amazing when topics that have no conceivable connection to race and gender get pulled.
Yeah, that's right, dude. There is none.
How did that happen?
Well, I mean, the whole point of the article was fairly simple. Most issues go through these long wave cycles. There's lots of early interest. The press gets onto it. Flurry of political activity. Some policies are made. Then we start having consideration of trade-offs. And that's been going on with global warming for several years now.
Yeah, because the fossil fuel industry makes it that way. Maybe it's because that's the case, and maybe that's because they paid you to say, you thumb fuck of a man. You head thumb. You're a thumb head, dude. You're a fucking peanut thumb head. You want real news? Look up international news. Damn straight, dude. I do. I'm subscribed to a couple. One Latin, a couple European, and a Canadian one. France 24 is a Canadian one. I think I'm subscribed to a German one too, and it didn't like a random one in the UK, I think too, and CBC, which is Canadian.
Really expensive to do what a lot of the...
Also, Chinese. There's this Chinese news station I check out every now and then too, and Al Jazeera as well, every now and then.
Climatistas, as I call them, want us to do. And so now you're seeing more and more expressions, including in the Paris Climate Accord, that we need to consider gender equality and climate justice. That's a sign that...
I've never heard this, dude. So where's the sources, bitch?
Issue has, as the cliche goes, jumped the shark. And now it's kind of at the end of its string. And public opinion surveys here and in Europe show declining public interest in the whole darn thing.
Well, it's a boutique issue for rich people, obviously, but it's also a little confusing. I mean, even if you think that climate justice is real, or even if you can explain what it is, I've never met anyone who can, or if you think that gender equality is an important part of this, what does that have to do with science? That's not science, is it?
Okay, now I'm actually starting to kind of agree with Tucker right now all of a sudden. So, Okay, all right then. I mean, yeah, because what he's saying is true. Like, there isn't really. I mean, you could make a case because maybe, you know, Africa and the Middle East is going to get the worst of it, and guess what that's going to create? A refugee crisis like you never seen before. You think we have it bad now? They're making a straw man. Yeah, they are. I mean, because it's just like, you know, that's an obvious case, dude. It's obvious. Like, you don't, there's no, that's a, you know, that's a non-issue because it isn't an issue. Like, I've literally never heard of that case before. So it's just like...
No, not at all. I mean, and that was one of the things that...
So, yeah, they are creating a straw man in that. I mean, I can only see a case for that if, you know, looking at, you know, what the, you know, Africa and the Middle East and Asia eventually, you know, as well, especially with air pollution, you know, is going through. So, you know, there's a case, but it's not... But that's just because it's a global fucking issue. It's not because, you know, these minorities are, like, directly oppressed by it. It's because it's causing a world issue that, you know, involves a lot of the, you know, oppression that they do get due to the actual reasons why they have oppression, like, you know, U.S. involvement, bombing the fuck out of their homes, you know, exploiting their natural resources, collecting their oil, you know. So, I mean, that's the reason why they're oppressed. It's not because of climate change. It's because of our involvement in all these places. Yeah, I mean, Nicaragua and Venezuela are both falling apart, you know. I mean, Venezuela kind of has for a while. I mean, there's a case for that. I mean, no one denies that, I think. But, you know, Nicaragua's falling apart. Honduras, I think, is also falling apart as well. I mean, even Latin America's falling apart. I'm surprised Colombia hasn't, you know, totally collapsed, so fuck. Oops.
The articles is, look, I'm not questioning any of what is called the consensus about climate science. Right. I'm just saying as a political and policy matter, this has run its course. And my goodness, you ought to see my Twitter feed blow up yesterday and today. Apparently, it's not enough to call someone a climate denier anymore when you dissent from climate orthodoxy. I'm getting called a white male supremacist, which is a really...
By who? I mean, who is saying... Oh, my...
Good sign that you've run...
Okay, I think we had enough of this one. I think we get the point of what he's dumbass is saying. So, and let me just go back here now. Let's see what else we got. So I think actually we might as well just go up on this article that I pulled up too, because this is something that I think is really interesting. Because I've read a little bit through it. Not I kind of skimmed it, not read the whole thing. So so it's 1 Doomsday, peering beyond scientific reticence. It is, I promise, worse than you think. If your anxiety about global warming is dominated by fears of sea level rise, you're barely scratching the surface of what terrors are possible. Even within the lifetime of a teenager today, and yet swelling seas, the cities that they will drown, has so dominated the picture of global warming, and so overwhelmed our capacity for climate panic, that they have occluded our perception of other threats that many much closer at hand. Rising oceans are bad, in fact very bad, but fleeing the coastline will not be enough. Indeed, absent a significant adjustment of how billions of humans conduct their lives, parts of the earth will likely become too close to uninhabitable. The other parts horrifically inhospitable, as soon as the end of the century. And to kind of get through that, we'll just kind of go through some of the examples, which I already kind of was mentioning. So, you're getting a lot of, you know, the Middle East bombed the fuck out of. And then you're getting, you know, their oil and all their natural resources exploited and, you know, taken over by the fossil fuel industry that's being paid, you know, that is paying essentially the military to go fucking do these, you know, dirty tricks for themselves. Do you like the Lebanese food? I actually do like Lebanese food. I've tried it before. It's really good. But, yeah, I mean, and, you know, also, you know, considering what's going on with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict as well. I mean, the mass, you know, oppression of these Palestinians that's been going on by Israel for the longest time. And then Saudi Arabia, and then Iran, and then, you know, Russia and the United States also on top of that, you know, trying to back the Israel and Palestine both, you know, both sides, you know, in this proxy war that's going on, you know, and this, like, 4 trifecta proxy war that's just absolutely horrendously fucked. And... you know, this, you know, and they think this is what's causing the refugee crisis. Yeah, it may be right now. But, guess what? It's going to get much worse, my dudes. It's going to get much worse. Because it's not going to be the rising sea levels that's causing them to be, you know, fleeing the Middle East. It's not just going to be bombs being dropped on their homes because they got nowhere to live. It's not going to be the fact that, they don't want to, you know, live in a radical Islamic theology, and they might try to be fleeing, you know, with their, you know, children and shit. You know, or maybe, you know, they're trying to spread the ideology elsewhere because, you know, that's all they know, and they just want to live somewhere else because, you know, that's what they identify with, and then they get in these enclaves and shit, which is also a recurring problem in Europe because, you know, their immigration policies don't, you know, consider the melting pot immigration idea, which is spread them out everywhere and get them more adjusted to your actual culture. And, you know, if they think this is a problem now, wait until it gets too hot for the Middle East to, you know, live in. Wait until it gets too hot for water to just be abundance there, and then it runs out of resources, and then they got nothing to build off of, and then there's no food, no water. Where are they gonna go? They can't live there anymore, you know. And then it'll be too hot to even, you know, be around there at all. It will just be a total wasteland, dead zone that no one can survive in more than a day, you know. Wait until that happens, and then come back to me about some refugee crisis that everyone cries about. I mean, Europe's gonna, you know, I do kind of fear for Europe, and not because of nationalism or because of, you know, some identity, but because, you know, well, I guess maybe because of that, because that's going to be the main, you know, divide, is going to be identity, and we want to preserve our lands, and they're invading our lands because they don't understand the whole importance of the main premise of why this is happening, maybe, is exploitations and world dominance of the U.S. imperialist power and climate change. But climate change really is the main part of that because because of the imperialist power, you know, exacerbating fossil fuel consumption, you know, in causing climate change to get worse and worse every fucking year. And it's been getting, you know, a lot of the change effects that we've been having now is actually due to because of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Not even because of what we're doing now. I mean, that's why I say that climate change is a long-term effect, because we're starting to feel the impacts of what we did 30 years ago now. That's why. Because that's why that is the important thing that I was clarifying earlier, because if we can't define that, then, you know, the fossil fuel industries and then people who are skeptics are going to be able to get away with the idea that it's a debate because, oh, well, it always changes, and, oh, well, you know, we're not making a direct impact. Well, yeah, we are. Look at the fucking data. I mean, I didn't poll any personally, but, you know, it's you know, it's there. You can, I mean, it's easy to look up. I mean, I looked up something here really. I don't know if I actually did pull it up or accidentally clicked out of it. Yeah, I did click out of it. Oh, well. Well, I mean, I did have something that actually was showing the negative effects as well, but I guess I clicked out of it. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, this whole thing actually goes into a lot of the premises as well, in this as well, because I went into it already. Heat death, which is, you know, you can't survive because it's too hot. Or was the second premise that it had? Okay, I guess that was the second one. The third premise was the end of food, which I just said, and I think it goes into some stats here as well about it. Premise 5, unbreathable air, which is something that I've went into briefly there too, because look at Beijing, look at China right now, dude. I mean, 97% of the world breathe, 90, or at least on average 90% of the world, let's just say, because it varies from place to place, or from study to study. And so 90% of the world breathes polluted air, and that includes me, and that probably includes you guys too. And if 1 out of every 10 or like 10 out of 100 people aren't breathing polluted air, there's a problem. 90% of the population of me? Yeah, that's what I meant. 90% of the population of the earth breathes polluted air. That's what I meant. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's a scary thing that we're getting into at this point. And unless we went into, you know, get into renewables and get into trying to, you know, get into methods and experimentations of, you know, research into trying to, you know, maybe collect CO2 from the air, because I've heard of research and studies done on that. And if that's possible, maybe we should try to get into it. 90% of the population was killed in the war of 1988, and the government covered it up. Damn straight it did. Hold up. Actually, let me just read that in the actual This way it was 90% of the world population killed in the war of 1988. And the government covered it up. Alright. I already went through these. I already went through these. Just cleaning up the little space here. Got a little bit more time left. I just got a message from one of my fucking coworkers saying I work at 3 and I don't want to get fucking scrutinized over that shit. So this might actually be cut a little shorter, but you know, we kind of went over every good thing here that we need to. But let's get into this last little point here. The EPA had saying that climate change is a good thing, even though it's not.
Boy,
I mean, there is so much. Yeah, I work on weekends, so I mean, I was trying. That's why I did this earlier today, so I could just kind of squeeze it in throughout my day. Because I woke up in a good mood today. So
made some genius comments this week. EPA administrator questions assumptions. Quote, assumptions that global warming is bad.
So 90%. Fucking hell. Pause.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's frozen.
Here we go again.
It's frozen right now.
Here we go again.
Okay, so hold on. Climate change is good. More sunny days for going to the beach. Have I ever jerked it? No. But I know a coworker who did, and he got suspended. And I think he got moved to a different store after that. So, yeah, because he was caught jerked off in my boss's office. Oh my god. No, I haven't really done that, actually. Our bathrooms are too busy to do that.
So, Scott,
but someone did, and they got caught.
We know that humans have most flourished during times of what? Warming trends. So I think there's assumptions made that because the climate...
Yeah, like which warming trends? Like the Ice Age ending like 10,000 fucking years ago, which did help increase mass immigration as well. I mean, also before that as well, too, when it was cold. I mean, like, what a fucking dumb thing to say.
Climate is warming, that necessarily is a bad thing. Do we really know what the ideal surface temperature should be in the year 2100, in the year 2018? I mean...
Hey, don't worry, I hate my boss too, so, I mean, if I could get at her some way without her realizing it was me, I would, because that would be just fucking great.
That's somewhat fairly arrogant for us to think that we know exactly what it should be in 2100. Scott Pruitt is a complete caricature of an oil company stooge.
Because he is. Scott Pruitt is paid by the fucking oil industry. It's duh. Where do you work in? At a grocery store? Yep, same one I get all my food at too. Yeah, so it's not like a bad place. It's just the management and communication and the way they operate is fucking atrocious. Because they're a big corporate place. What chain? Safeway. That chain, which is also paid, which is also a branch off of Albertsons, which is fucking ridiculous. This is also a branch off of some other store. So go down the chain. It's a big corporate conglomerate, like pretty much everything else is in this country. So yay, yay, being a cog in the corporate wheel.
I mean, no, what's arrogant, Scott, is that you're commenting on this shit without understanding any of the data or the science behind it. We have proven models that explain exactly what's going to happen in the future with climate change and exactly what's happening right now with climate change. As Cape Town, South Africa runs out of water because of climate change, this idiot's like, hey, maybe it's a good thing.
Kyle, I love you, but don't hack my computer and cause you to continue playing. Thank you. Okay, so what was that? Do I make minimum? I make like 30 cents above minimum, so I guess not technically, but I make like 11.40, and the minimum right now is like 11.25, so I guess 15 cents extra. I don't know, but no, I went to 11.60, so yeah, I guess it's more near like 35 cents or some shit. I don't know.
Well, riddle me this.
It's not technically minimum, but I mean, considering the hours I work, it's not like unbearable, but I mean, it's okay. 7.62 is where I live. 7.25. Damn. See, that's why we need a livable wage, like, you know, tied to the inflations of the states, because, I mean, that's on, you know, that would just be fucking criminal here now, dude. I mean, which I think it is. I honestly think it is. I think all the living wage minimums for every state is above the current minimum wage as it is. So, I mean, with that said, yeah, it is a little criminal what the fuck is, you know, the minimum wage is right now. And it needs to be increased to, like, at least, like, a basic minimum of the most minimum state. And then the rest of them are tied to the inflation of the states. Because Oregon's actually more like $13.75, while, like, Wyoming's like $8.25 or something. I live on ramen. Hey, I live on El Monterey burritos, and every now and then I have the luxury of making food for myself. So, I mean, there you go. Or I go to Food Cart Food and enjoy like that and nibble on shit for throughout the day.
Maybe it's a better temperature if we don't run out of water and increase famine and increase drought. And
you know, Cape Town, South Africa, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but, oh, you know, it's out of fucking water. There are literal gangs, criminal organizations that deal in water. Like, there are fucking gangs dealing, you know, trading off water, buying it, you know, of course, expensive prices. I mean, like, look at this precedent that we've already set for ourselves. Like, look how low we already have decided to go. Like, Cape Town is fucked. I mean, and I think Sao Paulo is also going through some similar shit too. From what I've heard, I don't know. But, I mean, all these places are fucked right now. You know, what are we, you know, like, you know, this is why I say bring on the news, because what the fuck are we doing ourselves at this point? Like, this is what I mean where it's on, what part of Portland? Southeast. I'm actually not technically in Portland. I'm in between it, but southeast technically, so. But, yeah, I mean, like, to think climate change is good, look a fuck around you, you corporate fossil fuel, oil-choking, dicks-guzzling faggot. Look around you. It is not good. There's nothing about climate change that's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, just the natural trends of what the Earth is going through is a, you know, good environmental trend, but bring on the nigs, hashtag mass immigration. Hashtag mass immigration, bring on the nigs! Yeah, take our derbs! Take the derbs! Take the derbs! But, yeah, man. Anyway, I would love to get more into this, but unfortunately I have to cut it a little short. Maybe I'll do a part 2 for getting more you know, more into the, you know, alternatives of what we can do after later tonight, just considering the circumstances, because there is other stuff I wanted to get into. So I think we'll do a part 2 later tonight. So stay tuned. 10 p.m. Pacific time is around I'm done, so adjust that to yours. But there, oh, what was this last one? I'll read final comments here really quick. There was a Muslim migrant in Sweden that got off without punishment for raping a child. And see, that's what's fucked. And see, that's why the immigration in Europe is actually not good and needs reforming, because that guy shouldn't get away with that. And in fact, if you raped a child, he should probably just be executed for it, because that's how I feel on pedophiles anyway. But yeah, hopefully I'll see all 3 of you, or one of you, one of you guys around later tonight. But yeah, peace out, bitch. Peace out, bitch. Peace out, blah, 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 blah.